Starting match in Group D. So the second match in Group D. So it's another best of 3. Top left-hand side is the Red Terran player ByuN taking on the Blue Zerg Rogue. Didn't get to see anything of ByuN yesterday. Saw Rogue winning in some TvZ. Lost to Vanya though. So it's not been perfect out of Rogue so far. Let's see what ByuN brings to the table here for At HomeStory Cup number 3. I just need to very quickly mute up for a moment or two, guys, and sort something out. I'll be right back as we watch this SCV come down for Command Center first. Oh my goodness, something to talk about as well. CC first, what do you guys think? Is ByuN gonna pull the soul? Oh my goodness. I'm back in one moment. Alrighty, so a couple racks coming down, so it's a very different follow-up to the CC first that Soul went for in the previous series. What ByuN is doing is he is going into the double racks. This is going to be like a 2-1-1 follow-up to the CC first, something that ByuN really started doing fairly recently, and something which I think I've been, it's kind of what I alluded to that, to what Soul might be doing in the last time around before Hearthstone was like, no, he's going to do exactly this, and then he obviously did exactly that. As you just have the third hatch going to be coming down from Rogue in a few moments' time. So this typically, with the CC first, it gives you actually really good timing for the 2-1-1. You'd be surprised at how good it looks a lot of the time. And when ByuN came back from the military and started doing this, it was kind of all the rage. People were like, oh my god, reinventing the 2-1-1, all that kind of, like, it's actually impressive how he's been able to do it, so. And get set up, we do have the Orbital morphing in. Of course, worth mentioning, by the way, new team in the Starcraft 2 community, the Shopify Rebellion. That's obviously ByuN's team here as well, so great to see them being represented in the round of 16 here today. My pleasure to get to cast them when it's, we'll cast ByuN, of course, when it comes to him versus Rogue. So yeah, everything from here on out should just look like a 2-1-1 from ByuN. Stim starts, you go Starport, you get that reactor started. All that kind of stuff. As you just see, with the link speed already on the way, Rogue is going to opt for the Overlord speed as well. Again, benefit of casting replays, as always, you don't have to sit through the pauses. Worth mentioning, of course, just in case you're not aware, so the first group of the day was live, guys, and while that first group was playing, this group played at the same time, so it just makes it so that the Koreans don't have to stay up super late so many nights in a row. Obviously, for the playoffs, that's less avoidable, and you do have to just let the Koreans stay up late, but if it's possible, they want to make sure the Koreans can go to bed at a somewhat reasonable time during the group stages. It also means that if you don't make the playoffs, you don't have to completely destroy your sleep schedule, so I like it. It's a nice touch. One group live, one group from replays. I think it's a good kind of middling balance for the At HomeStory Cup. So here we go in for these couple of medevacs to come through. You can see the timing on this is going to be crisp as well. As ByuN is going to have pretty much spot on 16 Marines. Also, I think he's going to have, what, like, actually, going to have like 15. So pretty much exactly what you want to move across the map with, though. ByuN setting up for that right now. As we, just going to be seeing these medevacs popping. Units will start to move, and we'll see what Rogue is going to do about this. Armory on the way as well from ByuN. Okay, so this is interesting. With the factory going back to the reactor, he's going to make something more of a timing out of this. So it's going to be 2-1-1 initially. Now he's actually going to... He actually already has 2 Hellions. How long is he going to wait? Usually when you do this, you put the starport... You don't reactor the starport. You actually just put the factory, or you keep the reactor on its... on the factory. They keep the factory on its reactor. And you can build a couple of Hellions right away, and then you build 2 medevacs, and then this timing works out a bit better, usually. Obviously, ByuN doesn't want to do that this time around, so it's a little bit of a different way of doing it. I'm not sure if I like it. It feels a little bit less efficient because you're waiting around with these medevacs anyway from Hellions, which you could have had more of. So yeah, I'm not sure about that. And now the medevacs aren't here as these Marines get surrounded, so ByuN is in trouble as Rogue just jumps on him. Marines get denied out on the bottom side, and that is a huge win from Rogue. I mean, this build is just falling apart already for ByuN. That's obviously horrendous. Jeez, that sucks. Wow, what now? You're gonna move some Hellbats in the main? Great. Queens are here. I mean, I don't know what to tell you guys, it just sucks. These two Marines get left behind as well. The Hellbats take up all the cargo after they moved into Hellions. And it's like, god damn, you guys gotta take up 2 seats per person. It's like, the Hellions are like, well, we're Hellbats now. Unfortunately, we do. The Hellion Marines like, swap back. Nope. Marines got left behind. They don't have a good time. Well, Rogue's just in full control of this. The cleanup, no damage done at all from ByuN. The commitment to obviously building these Hellions into Hellbats. And you have more racks and a 3rd CC coming through, but he's just not done anything early. Now, this is a bit more problematic. Some Lings actually do get taken down, so maybe ByuN can start to do something now. Bane lanes are available if you want to start more from them in, so... I mean, Rogue doesn't have that much money, though. He doesn't have a lot of gas in the bank, because he's on his way to, first of all, Burrow, but also Bane speed and 1-1 melee upgrades. So he did just spend a lot of the gas, so maybe if there was ever a time for ByuN to make this work, it'd be right now. He jumps in on top of the couple queens, and the 2 high energy queens seem to go down pretty early on. Now the few Banelings starting to make their way through. Good connection on the Marines in the back there, and that is going to be the cleanup that Rogue was looking for. That was a little bit tricky, and I wonder just how good this would have been for ByuN if Rogue had not had such a successful, pushback initially. Medevac back up the top side, just going to be seeing these Zerglings making their way up through the top as well. Spires on the way down in the back of the natural, and just going to be seeing our Marines unloading to go fighting against that Overlord. Pushing that back away over the right-hand side as well. So that Overlord goes down. We do see one more Zergling into the 3rd base mineral line. A couple of Marines in the Hellbat. Going to get there. Going to be able to take the Ling out. A few more Lings showing up. Trying to cancel the 4th base. Well, ByuN gets across to defend that at least. I mean, you do not want to go cancel on your 4th. This game's already gone badly enough for you that stuff like that is just going to push you over the edge in terms of what you can actually get done, what you can handle, and what you can manage. These Lings run in, a few Marines escaping away to the side. Then drop up into the main base. Meanwhile, 8 SCVs get blown up by a little Baneling run by on the 3rd, so ByuN losing out on some SCVs. Some Banes actually now into the natural, just going to get 4 more workers. And ByuN is just not finding anything in comparison, right? That's the issue. Some of this damage is absorbable, but every time he's dealing he's taking damage, he's just not dealing any blows back, right? If he was punching Rogue back in these scenarios, brilliant, but again, that is just not happening here at all. As you see, ByuN is just going to pull away with these 2 medevacs yet again. Creep spread is getting out of control, approaching the halfway marker here on Death Or, which is a relatively large map in itself as well. We do have a hatchery down on the bottom left-hand side. I'm just going to be seeing the drones making their way over to start mining on the bottom left-hand corner as well. That coming and send it down from ByuN, so getting that set up. Just going to be seeing a few more Marines around the right. Do not quite find a Zergling just yet. Oh, these Lings going to go running in. Going to get a little surround. Marines load up and jumping into the medevacs here to maybe thinking about getting away. But am I now down the left-hand side? I mean, again, just so many units from Rogue at this stage as well are running in. Going to go and get a catch on the command center and stop that from morphing into planetary. Mutas show up right now as well. I'm not really talking much about what's going on, I guess, in the background for Rogue, but he's got Mutas out and they're in the main base and they're killing SCVs, and ByuN is going to find himself in even more trouble as Lings just run into the reinforcements out the front and they find themselves a bunch of kills. Okay, a couple tanks will clean up, but guess what? It's only tanks, so there's no anti-air. So the Mutas fly in and the Mutas say bye-bye to everything, and Rogue is just going to have a fantastic game number 1. I mean, from start through finish, Rogue was controlling this game. He defended the first attack so easily, so well. The rest of the game really became a little bit trivial. Up in the bottom left-hand side is the red Terran player. It is ByuN. Taking on the blue Zerg. Upper right, DPG's Rogue. Remember, the winner of this gets to fight Soul in the winner's match. While we do have the loser will go on through to fight against DRG in the elimination match. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous as well. Soul in the winners match. I wonder who Soul would rather play, ByuN and TvT or Rogue TvZ. I think he'd rather play Rogue TvZ. I think Soul's best matchup right now really is TvZ. His TvT's been good, but against Korean Terrans, he's definitely been lacking. That game against Cure the other day, you guys remember from the WardiTV resold out event? He started well in the semifinals against Cure. Game 1, he was ahead, and Cure just came back in the most miraculous of ways, and it felt like it really just broke Soul down. And from that point on, Soul did not look like the same player, but the way he played for the first 20 minutes of what was a 45-minute game in game number 1, he played some fantastic Starcraft, and again, just couldn't find that magic again later in the series. I'd imagine Soul would probably prefer to play against Rogue here than ByuN in the next round, if I had to make a little bit of a guess. Not that I think he'd like to play against Rogue, per se. I mean, Rogue's obviously a terrifying player. So yeah, he's obviously a terrifying player. You never really want to, but if you had to make a choice between Rogue and ByuN, as Soul, I think you take Rogue, even though he's probably in better shape than ByuN is right now. Feels like ByuN's calmed down a little bit the last little while, you know? It just feels like it's been a few days since I've seen ByuN go crazy and win a whole bunch of stuff, right? And, you know, really just kind of knock a few people down. So kind of feeling like ByuN's maybe just slowing it down a little bit at the moment. Also get ourselves set up in this game number 2. Yeah, thanks for the love coming in. Just very quickly, I guess there's not much goes on. Penne Biff on the 1-year resub. Welcome back. Thank you so much. We also had Willie Ouija Fram. Thank you so much for the 500 bits and the kind words as well. Just wanted to say thanks to a couple of people as we wait on links to come through. We're going to take this right-hand side expansion. So this is a base you don't often see. This isn't quite like Pillars of Gold, where taking this base does a lot for you further down the line. I actually don't really like this base at all. I feel like, especially just because super early push can take so much advantage of this area here and pushing into this area, but let's see what Rogue does with it. It's very possible Rogue plays a Roach style. And playing a Roach style off of here can give you some good movement across the map and so on, so I would say that might be the most likely way of going about this, with the way that things are set up at the moment. So link speed coming through, Queen on the way up. We're going to see the Overlord is on the way out. A drone about to pop and a hatchery on that third base as mentioned previously. The starboard finishing and just going to start building a reactor. No, not a reactor, a medevac. Hello, Wardy. Are you blind? Yes, I'm blind. Interestingly, the factory made 2 Hellions before going to the reactor. That's what I was going to start talking about. The Marines were still reactoring out, so a little bit of an off timing. So obviously part of this is because you don't go for a Reaper initially, you go for a Marine first, so the factory is faster. And then I guess you just build 2 rounds of Marines off the reactor while the factory then ends up just building a couple Hellions. So it gives you this kind of Marine Hellion drop or Marine Hellion aggression. He actually loads the Hellions and says, you know what, no, I'm going to take the Marines and drop those, and I'm going to run the Hellions across the map. Overlord speed just finishes this Rogue. What timing, because this Overlord would have been perhaps dead. In fact, it might still be dead, so it is still dead. I mean, he gets to see the Marines from the medevac, though, so you force those to lift out, and obviously you'll force them to unload, so now you kind of know what's there. It's obviously pretty good info, as we do see this medevac continuing to the upper right-hand side. Well, Queen's getting in position, the medevac's going to get pushed away. It's going to rotate back around through the center and up to the top. Going to start unloading over here now. Armory is on the way down from ByuN. It's about halfway along right now. And we're going to be seeing Hellbats once again. So last time, obviously, we saw him shut down before his attack really got to come to fruition, right? He was halted before the full power of everything joined up together and was able to make a proper push. This time around, ByuN is going to have everything. He is going to be able to morph in the Hellbats with these few Marines behind. Obviously, very different setup to the last game. There's no stim. There's not, way less Marines. Obviously, hitting earlier as well. There was a couple of drones run by, and they're going to be in trouble. These Banelings are not done yet, and ByuN's actually going to say, I don't believe you've had the Banelings ready in time, so he's actually going to target fire them down. Oh no, that one didn't actually get finished off, so it does connect in. The Hellbats take some damage. And now moving through, we're going to see these couple of Queens taking some shots as well. Well, this is definitely feeling like a better opening from ByuN as he goes strong through this. We're going to see him chasing down another Queen of Feelings, and Bane's coming in from the top side. Bane's waddling through. And that's going to be a connection to clean out everything in the end. The damage is kind of done, though. I mean, resources lost is even, but you get rid of some queens. That slows the Zerg down a lot. You also Liberator doing this. I do apologize. Liberator harass going on. What actually killed the Liberator? It looks like this Queen and Spore probably got the majority of damage done. Just picked it off nice and quick. So yeah, the Liberator harass from ByuN not finding much while the Hellbats make their way to the front and so on. A little back up the left. We do have the Hellions able to grab a Queen kill there. Hellbats making their way through this hatchery and just again putting a little bit more damage out. Splits away. A Baneling goes down between the couple of Hellbats. Now the other Bane making its way across. Units having to split up a little bit. Takes another shot that kind of hurts. I mean, especially when there's only Lings and Queens otherwise, right? Taking a Bane shot on 2 Hellbats instead of just the 1 is actually quite sizable. These Hellbats could have been way healthier still and just caused more of an issue. As it stands, it's not really a problem anymore. They're going to make their way to a mineral line, so maybe you can force a worker pull? A worker pull here. Control also goes down. Other Hellions still out the front. ByuN is still making Hellions, which is such an unorthodox choice, right? They're very mineral expensive, so it slows down your marine production a whole bunch. As the game goes by, Hellions generally become less effective in amongst the army as well, so that's why you don't really see them usually in the later stages of the game. As these Hellbats come through, going to start nibbling their way through this hatchery, trying to roast it down. Big Queen's coming over, pushing these Hellbats back as well. We do have the Overseer back around through the main base. Lings coming across, and they're going to be able to block the orbital command from landing down on the bottom left-hand side. So ByuN will go to 3 bases here. Definitely has been a better setup for ByuN than last time, no doubt about that. And you see again, Rogue, exact same style so far. Melee upgrades, Baneling speed, and that burrow upgrade. That's the most interesting part. Invest in the early burrow. As he takes this base, he did end up taking this as his 4th base, so I imagine that's why he takes this as the 3rd. Would rather have this 4th base than this base over here. It makes sense in a way, right? Because you actually have this position really is powerful for the Terran. They expand here. They push up here, very difficult to flank them. You're protected by these rocks. You get behind these rocks, tank lines, etc. Like, don't get me wrong, this position here is annoying as well, but probably not quite as annoying as dealing with this one. I guess that's the logic behind Rogue and his initial expansion pattern. There's a few Banes just in the corner here get found. ByuN gonna get some easy pickings. There was no Dropper Lord to take advantage and lift those Banelings up into a mineral line or so. Well, Ling's running forward, doing a pretty good job of this. I'm actually going to see a few more coming around. Hellion's going to get surrounded. Hellion's all going to fall right there. I was just going to be seeing the rest of the Lings of Rogue going to come back through the center of the map. Drones going to move up to the top side, so I mean, 5th base getting saturated. We're on 85 drones. Now we're going to see no mutas this time. We're going to see the Hydralisk Den instead, so Rogue setting that down. Currently just still sat on 6 gases or so. And he's actually only just gone up to 6 as well, just adding on an extra 1 or so just at the end there. Once we do have the Queens putting down a few more creep teamers. Other Lings over the left-hand side going to get cancel on a base. Big run by here. I'm just going to go for the bunker before anything else. Good target fire. He just target fired down the Banelings via the bunker. Wow, and that does maybe take away some of what Rogue was wanting to get done with this. The Marines get here. The Ling's going to go in for the surround. Widowmine starting to burrow up. They will get burrowed. 1 shot and 2 shot does decently to help out. I mean, the unit count or the worker count from ByuN is dropping those 16 workers down now in the game. Well, that is the attack cleaned up. Rogue, he doesn't have a bank to just rebuild everything with right away just yet, so that maybe was quite an expensive attack in all honesty. Some Marines coming through here, a couple Banes going down, Widowmine shots going off. These Queens out the front in some trouble as well. Here come the other Lings starting to move forward. All of these Banelings in some trouble. These Lings continuing to drop, as we do see more Zerglings getting shot down by these Marines. A little Burrow Baneling action takes down a few units as they come across the map as well. So Rogue utilizing that burrow we saw from earlier in the game as he looks to continue defending out on the top of Oxide. trying to find himself a 2-0. He's pushing through. He's actually going to keep chasing with these banelings. Couple on the left-hand side actually going to get to connect. And Rogue finds a much better fight than imagined here from my eyes. I thought he was actually pushing a bit too far forwards, off creep, etc. But, man, just finding 1 or 2 banelings on each side of these Marines and able to connect into them made such a big difference. Now, these Widow Mines, low HP, all 3 of them stacked up together, going down to a 3rd baneling connection. That's obviously gonna hurt quite a bit as well. Man, Rogue is just all over ByuN at the moment. He's actually currently 2-2 melee against 1-1 also, so just in case another fight breaks out, I expect Rogue to win it with that upgrade advantage too. A little bit wild right now, as Rogue is kind of just chewing up ByuN. This little Runby gets turned around. Now we're on our way to our Groove Spines and +1 missiles. So upgrading these Hydras. It is still just Hydras though, right? We're on just Lair Tech. There's the Infestation Pit as I'm talking about, or insinuating that maybe we should go towards a Hive here to try and improve the position a bit. A couple Widow Mines get set off ahead of all the rest. Oh, I like this. The Lings here, I think we're trying to block the depots just to make sure he always had an escape path. So I like that, just preemptively thinking about how he's going to keep these units alive and get them out. As man, no Hydra speed yet, but this army's terrifying. And remember, ByuN's not in the best of spots right now, so let's see if he can hold this off. One of the ways ByuN can start to turn this game around is to start taking some better fights. As Rogue throws units into, he's got so many units in medevacs though. They're going to have to start unloading during the fight. That's obviously far from ideal. Now they're not even stimmed initially. Okay, now Bins trying to make their way forward. A few of them not quite getting there just yet, and good from ByuN. Good damage on those Banes to keep this back. Now another few waves coming through. The Hydra's behind this all the time, doing damage. These Banes should turn around and go for the SCVs. They've been so close to getting so many workers. Could have just peeled off to the side, but of course Rogue is obviously busy looking elsewhere, man. Rogue supply is just there, man. He's reinforcing against this, and he's just got the money and the economy to keep units streaming on in. ByuN types T, GG, and Rogue is going to take his first series of the round of 16 groups. Rogue 2-0 over ByuN, looking like a freaking monster.